religion, politics. Okay. Yep. Okay. I think we're also live on YouTube. Please, people in the live chat, let us know how the audio is. I see people liking on Facebook. If you leave, oh, I see Hassam Ali. Hi from Iraq. You're good. Thank you, Hassam. By the way, the only reason why I could read your name is because I'm from Iran, so I could read your name. And on YouTube, are you guys? I see Josh on Facebook saying live audio is good. Ali, say something so people can hear you as well.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear my voice well. Christy is here this week, so I'm
Yay!
really
Chris is
excited. And
here. Beach
Dee
is
tried
here
to
as
be.
well. Casey Atheist. Chris is here. Okay, let's just jump right into it because people leave if you don't jump right into it. So,
All
okay,
right.
all right. What's the
Out of
first
the
thing?
USA, despite Muslim ban, President Trump says religious freedom is one of his highest priorities. With this, we have a video for you guys to watch. It kind of intersects what he said at the UN, the United Nations General Assembly this week, versus what he's been saying over the course of his presidency.
Okay, that's crazy, right? First of all, there's so much hypocrisy here. I don't know how to dissect it. But before, Ali, do you want to comment on this before I jump into dissecting this?
Maybe after, not before.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, this is nonsense. I want to say something else, but YouTube will destroy us when I curse, right? So, um, I mean, okay, so we all know what this means, right? In when it comes to Christians in the United States, when they're talking about religious freedom, they're talking about Christian privilege, right? That's what it translates to. They never religious freedom when it comes to Republican never means religious freedom, right? And even when it comes to Christian privilege, they're not talking about every Christian's privilege. They're talking about U.S. based Christians' privilege. Okay, so I mean, this is a guy that has. I mean, whatever your position is on immigration or refugees, you could. There are good arguments to make that some people are let in that shouldn't be let in, but you should also accept that there are many people, whatever whatever your position is on immigration, there are some refugees that both legally and ethically are supposed to be able to make it in, like people with real case refugee status, right? That by that I don't mean economic migrants. I'm talking about people that actually their lives are in danger, and United States has signed into the UN agreement that they're going to accept. I mean, this is a human rights issue, and this president has accepted the least, right? I'm not talking about economic migrants. I'm talking about people that actually need help, actually deserve to, you know, deserve a place because they will be killed if they go back. And this guy has shut the door to many people, with his Muslim ban, that who admitted that it was a Muslim ban, no matter many times you say it wasn't a Muslim ban. I mean, we're against Islam, but also the whole idea of having a Muslim ban is ridiculous, is unconstitutional, and people try to pretend that it wasn't a Muslim ban, even though Trump himself referred to it as a Muslim ban. But even if you're like, yeah, okay, Armin, you're ridiculous. I thought you were anti-Islamic, and you're not. This is Muslim ban is like a good idea. This guy doesn't even accept Christians. Okay, Christian refugees from Iraq, for example, he doesn't accept them. So religious freedom, yeah, only if you're a Christian in the United States. Not even the bias is not even against for Christians. Christian United States, because the Christians in the United States, most of them don't give a shit about you're like, oh, Christians, they're like, we need freedom, people are attacking us, we can't talk about Christianity, blah blah blah. But like, okay, what about these Christians from Iraq? They're actually, people are killing them, they're actually in real threat, you want to let them in? Like, no, we're talking about people are war on Christmas or something like that. That's what they worry about. Religious freedom, war on Christmas, oh, the tragedy, that's what they want more. Again, religious freedom. Really? You think Trump is for religious freedom? These are just like what? Oh, God, I don't know. Man, this is so stupid. Ali, help me out here. I'm trying.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
you're absolutely right. It's all about Christianity in the United States, and you'll see throughout the course of this video, you're about to see that
Oh yeah.
he actually attacks Muslims and not just Islam. So he's definitely wrong when he goes in front of the United Nations General Assembly and says that protecting religious freedom is one of his highest priorities and always has been. He even goes as far as to say that he's standing up for religious minorities. So it's a joke.
Oh yeah, he mentions the Yazidis, right? He mentions like, oh, did he mention the Yazidis? I remember somebody saying he mentioned the Yazidis, which they didn't. Which they have been like, how many have they taken compared to Obama? Like less than 10 Yazidis. I mean, can we all agree that Yazidis have a case? Yazidis in Iraq and in Syria, they had the most legit case of all people when it comes to, refugee status. And this guy, I mean, if you're anti-terrorist, anti-Islamic terrorism, that would be a good PR. Like, oh, look, we're saving people from ISIS. But no, you can't even do that. Oh, by the way, this video just went down the toilet because we mentioned ISIS. Thank you, YouTube. We're gonna complete now. By the way, guys, please support us. We can't even mention ISIS on YouTube without getting
Demonetized.
Demonetized. We don't care. Deprioritize, so people don't even see our YouTube videos because we talk about this kind of stuff. And you know how much practice I have to go through to not swear, especially with news like this. Trying to not
you and I both.
Yeah, and okay, let me go. Let me play the video. Hold on. Wait, I need to make sure. Let me know. I'm gonna play it. Tell me if the audio is coming through.
President Trump championed religious liberty at what he called the first meeting on religious freedom hosted by an American president at the United Nations.
This year.
But
Did he add this year? Because it has.
It's since he took over.
Yeah.
But as the AP's Jonathan Lemire points out, Trump's remarkable clash with his own record, making his remark making no mention of his proposed Muslim ban.
As president, protecting religious freedom is one of my highest priorities and always has been.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Our founders understood that no right is more fundamental to a peaceful, prosperous, and virtuous society than the right to follow one's religious convictions.
Well, you're going to have to watch and study the mosques because a lot of talk is going on at the mosques. And from
today, with one clear voice, the United States of America calls upon the nations of the world to end religious persecution.
If you have people coming out of mosques with hatred and with death in their eyes and on their minds, we're going to have to do something.
No matter the case, America will always be a voice for victims of religious persecution everywhere.
Should there be a database system that tracks the Muslims here in this country?
There should be a lot of systems beyond database. I mean, we should have a lot of systems. We must all work together to protect communities of every faith.
Muslims can come in, but other people can't. Christians can't come into this country, but Muslims can. Now, what's that all about?
Too often, people in positions of power preach diversity while silencing, shunning, or censoring the faithful.
I want surveillance of these people. I want surveillance if we have to, and I don't care.
All right, that was it, and he says he doesn't care. Yeah, this. I mean, does anybody doubt that if this guy had more control, he wouldn't create a police state where people's religious minority and even us atheists would not have freedom because we're not Christian? Like I think based on what he has said so far, that's a safe bet, right? That he would, like, if he had given the people that he admires and given the stuff that he said, he would create a police state if he could, and mosques would be. I mean, again, I'm against Islam, but any government that puts cameras in mosques and decides to monitor people based on their ideology, I would be against that as much as I'm against Islam. I mean, those are one of the reasons why I don't like Islam, because of the fascist ideology that it promotes. But I'm not gonna fight a fascist ideology by promoting a fascist methods, right? Anyways, anything. Let me actually read the top comment. The top comment is a bit too long, so I'm gonna read the second top comment. Jillian is saying, I love... What? No, okay. I'm not going to read that comment anyways because it's weird. Anyways, Ali, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so in our live chat, someone asked, why are you constantly defending religious people? Trump seems very atheistic, more than any other president I kind of remember. We defend religious people because people deserve defending.
Right.
Ideas don't deserve defending. So that's why, we defend religious people. As far as Trump seeming very atheistic, I disagree.
No, he does. I don't care if he is. Here's the thing. Because we defend religious people because we're not just atheists. We're also humanists. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's one thing. And we're not tribal. If an atheist with fascist views and a Muslim that has any Muslim that even with shitty ideas, okay? That is a good person. I'll take the Muslim over the atheist any day because I'm not tribal, right? And I understand that good Muslims that don't follow Islam, their lives are in contradiction to what Islam teaches, and I acknowledge that, and I will point that out. But at the same time, I like them as better human beings, than atheists that promote ideas or practice ideas that are horrible for our fellow human beings, right? Again, we have been calling out China, and we will later on today, and China is an atheist state, but we have been calling them out with the way that, I don't understand why people see a contradiction to that. Like,
but here's the thing: is are they acting atheistic or are they acting something else? I think that there's a disconnect there.
There is no way to act atheistic. Atheism is just a lack of belief in God.
Right.
You can't act atheistic. You can act humanistic.
Right. And that's why I disagreed with the statement Trump seems very atheistic. And I disagreed because how are you going to act atheistic unless you're just acting like you don't believe in a God?
Well, he does act like he doesn't. Well, okay, so he doesn't seem to care about religion. He doesn't seem to have any views, in my opinion. I don't think he has any ideologies other than I'm great and people should worship me, okay? I don't think Trump has any other ideology other than that. He will use any ideology that is popular. Here's the thing, here's the controversial thing. I don't even think he's racist. I think he just realized that if he says these things, people love him more. He just saw that trends, that works with it for his audience, and he just went with it. Like I know a lot of people on our side are like, oh, of course Trump is racist. I don't think he's capable of having any solid ideology, okay? I think he just throws shit at the wall. Here, I said shit now. This video is done.
Way to go, Armin.
He throws shit at the wall, and if he sticks, he just goes with it, okay? That's that's what I think. So given that he doesn't have any views, I don't think he has any theistic views either, and that's why I think he's an atheist. But I don't care. Fuck him. Here, I know the video is done. Okay, fuck him. He might, even if he comes out on full-on atheist tomorrow, like, hey, you know what? I hate Christianity, and God is dead, and there is no religion is all fake. Fuck you. I don't care that you're an atheist. We're not tribal, okay? People with religious background and mentality that are tribal, they come here and you're like, oh, you hate religion. These people are against religious people. Why can't you get along? Well, you really think that that's how we think? People that are not that are tribal seem to have a very a lot of difficulty understanding people that are not tribal. Anyways, we spent a lot of time on this news. But yeah, Garrison on Facebook is saying he's a whatever workist. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever workists. That's hard to say. Anyways, let me close this one. And next news.
All right. Next news is out of Iran. Iran detains family members of women's rights activist Masih Alinejad. Missy Alinejad, she runs the White Wednesdays campaigns.
She runs many cities.
What's that?
She runs many things, but
Many things.
that's what the main one she got famous for. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So she's all about women's rights. She actively is working against Walking Unveiled campaign as well. She is just a huge women's rights activist in Iran, and 3 of her family members have been arrested because of her work. We've reported on her before, where Iran was saying that she was actually cooperating with the United States government in order to make Iran look bad because of the work that she's doing. So Iran
she's
has
not
been
in Iran right now. She's in the United States. That's why they're going after her family.
Yes. So because she is not slowing down, because the way that they're criticizing her and threatening her isn't working, it isn't shutting her up, they've now started arresting her family. So recently they just arrested her brother in front of his 2 children. They blindfolded him, they handcuffed him, and they let him out of his house in front of his 2 small children. And the 2 other family members were sisters of her ex-husband, Max Lofty, to which, she said, both have nothing to do with me, but they've been arrested for a possible connection with me. Mind you guys, they've been arrested because they were connected with her. That's it.
So, okay, so for people that don't know Masih Alinejad, and I know a lot of Iranians disagree with me on this because they believe in conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But I personally, a lot of Iranians, including Iranians that are responsible for Atheist Republic's Persian division, disagree with me in this. So just to make sure, what I'm saying is not accepted by a lot of people. But I believe Masih Alinejad is the is the number 1 force against the Islamic Republic of Iran right now when it comes to an ideological battle. She has brought so much she has brought more than anybody else. She has managed to bring attention to human rights violations in Iran, especially against women in Iran, and she has scarred Iran's reputation around the world more than anyone else. Not Iran, the Islamic Republic, Iran's government. And so the interesting thing about her family is that I didn't think, you might think I'm naive, but based on what I know about the Islamic Republic of Iran, they don't go after families. They haven't been going after families for the crime of for someone else's crime. Like this is not normal. I think this means Masih has been hitting a nerve because this is not something they do. Like if somebody is going after the government, they don't go arrest their family. I haven't seen this before.
Haven't we though? Haven't we seen this? Like, didn't they just do it recently with Sohaila Rabi's mother?
No.
And weren't they doing it before to reporters?
The difference is that Sohaila Rabi's mother was actively trying to get her son out. Masih Alinejad's family said, we denounce her. Like, you don't want anything to do with her. Like, they even were on TV, for example, saying bad stuff about her, right?
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know if they meant it or not, or they were trying to, stay safe by doing that. But, I mean, if you get arrested, they play dirty, right? So if you get arrested and your brother is trying to get you out, they might arrest your brother because he's doing stuff, right? They might even arrest your lawyer. This is how bad they are, right? So your lawyer that is trying to get you out, they might arrest. Now your lawyer needs another lawyer to get him out, right? That's how they play. They do that, which is insane. But if you are like, I don't know, my brother is like, he went the wrong path, I don't know what he's doing, they don't go after you in that scenario. But now apparently they do, which scares I stopped myself, I'm sorry. Which scares me, because I have family in Iran, but I'm not as big of a deal as Masih is. So I'm hoping that this is just a one-off thing. I mean, that's pretty scary now. I'm actually worried now.
I'll have to look into it, but I could have sworn that BBC Persian journalists, their families were also getting arrested.
Well, no, they weren't being arrested. They were being harassed, and also the assets were being frozen.
Okay.
Right. So this is a new
A new level.
Yeah, new level. But let me know. Maybe I missed something. Okay. Beej is saying, to be fair, it's Iran that has scarred its reputation. She's just the light on shining on it. Yeah, I mean, that's what I meant. By the way, yeah, Christy's saying, in the name of lack of belief. I don't have a problem with saying, hey, is that a reference to something I said? I don't know, so I'm not going to comment on it. Let me see what the top comment is. The top comments are GIFs or GIFs, so I can't read them. Sorry, podcast listeners. I'm not going to describe the GIFs to you. Ali, should we go? Do you have anything else to add?
Somebody asked, so how is this crime officially labeled there? Is it blasphemy? It's actually whatever they want. They've even so much as labeled women who take off their hijabs. They've labeled them as prostitutes. They're prostituting. So
I think it would be, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the standard for this would be conspiring to topple the government or something with that would mean that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or to raise... So if it's not if you didn't say anything religious, if you said something religious, I think it would be spreading corruption on earth or waging war against God. I think those were, if you said something against Islam. But if you're doing something against the government, for example, working with, Masih Alinejad right now works in Voice of America, which is U.S. taxpayer funded media. So that would make her an officially working with the U.S. government. So that's pretty bad for from Iran's government perspective. Anyway, so let me close this. Next news.
Next news is out of New York, USA. There's a new case of a rabbi sucking on a newborn's penis and giving him herpes. So this problem has actually been going on for a while now. Since 2006, there have been 19 infants that have contracted herpes in this way, and it's typically done strictly through the ultra Orthodox Jewish culture. They once the circumcision is done, the rabbi puts the child's penis in his mouth and he sucks the blood out. Well, the problem with this is if they have herpes, they spread it to the child. And in early September of this year, an infant was circumcised on the 8th day of its life by a mohel who performed this exact type of circumcision. 10 days later, they found that the infant had a rash on his genitals, groin, and buttocks. The family, they had no idea what this was, right? They thought that this was some sort of diaper rash. This was some sort of, crazy thing that they had never seen before. So they take him to the doctor. They're like, what's going on with our son? What kind of diaper rash cream do we need for this kid? After running tests, because it was just getting worse, it was actually herpes that was given to this baby. And two babies have actually died since 2006 as well because of their herpes infection getting out of control.
Honestly, if this had happened under any other label, people would be out in the streets and there would be this cult or whatever other label you had used it would be denounced, and people would call it a barbaric ideology, and it wouldn't last a week. It would be, people would be arrested. But because it's Judaism, people wouldn't say that. People would like, oh,
religious freedom.
Yeah, religious freedom, religious privilege. Religious privilege lets you suck on babies' dicks and get them, kill them. This is what people mean by religious freedom, right?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, how else would this be accepted in a society? Where was this?
This was in New York.
In United fucking States, the most advanced country in the world, the government allows certain group of people to cut and suck on other babies' dicks. Okay?
Yeah.
This is how powerful religion is, that you get away with that. And this is why, by the way, Judaism right now, people are more sensitive about it because Islamophobia accusations is not working as much anymore, but now everybody is anti-Semitic. Now every time we talk about Judaism, stuff like this should be a reminder for all of us that we need to go after Judaism now, because now that that line is being drawn for us not to attack Judaism, because everybody used to be Islamophobic, now everybody is anti-Semitic. Okay, we need to double down on Judaism, because that whenever they want to draw those lines, we need to show people that these fucking lines does not work. All right, we need to show everybody that your lines doesn't mean shit to us. More people need to focus on Judaism, because I used to say everybody should focus on Islam more than any other religion. And my reasoning for that was because that's the one that they don't want us to attack. Right? That's the one that, like, when I say shit about Christianity, people were like, yeah, Christianity bad, we know. But when you said about Islam, people are like, oh, it's racism, bigotry, whatever. Now people are like cooling down on that. So Judaism is the one that everybody is sensitive about. We need to go after Judaism. Look at this. Judaism has managed to get the government of the United States to allow certain group of people to do this. Are you serious? What other ideology would let you do that? Like,
well, can we be fair about that? What other ideology lets you do this? They let Christians here in this country, especially in Idaho, they let Christian parents kill their children by not getting the medical treatment.
That's what I meant. Religion.
To happen.
That's what I meant. I'm saying the label of religion.
Yeah.
Right? Get Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, whatever, lets you get away with stuff that you wouldn't have been able to get away with under any other label. Any other label? Can you tell me any other label? It's a religious privilege. No other form of ideology lets you get away with this. In United fucking States, this is what I mean. Come on, guys. Imagine if this, like, we're now used to this. Imagine if this was something that was not introduced to the world, and just a whole cult that wasn't a religion, was just like, hey, we do this to our babies. This whole thing would have been shut down. I don't understand, man. Fuck Judaism. Can I say that? I think we're gonna lose our YouTube channel now. Fuck Judaism. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Oh my.
Because if we do get shut down, we'll still scream. Fuck.
Guys, if we lose our channel,
I'm sorry, but this goes above and beyond anything. Who else is allowed to suck a baby's penis? And this is just insane on so many different levels. And no one is crying about it because they're afraid if they do so, they're criticizing a culture, or they're criticizing, an entire group of people. They don't want to come off as looking, it's why are we so afraid? People are sucking babies' penises and giving them herpes. Stop being afraid and start calling bullshit.
And to be fair, the cutting part is the main crime, right? Right. So emotionally, people are more disgusted by the sucking part, but they should be more logically. They should be more emotionally concerned about the cutting part. You're cutting babies.
Sure. Whatever it is, let's stop with this situation. We're talking about Judaism and cutting and sucking penises. The other situation is Christians murdering their children. Because they don't want to get medical treatment for them. Let's stop being afraid, and let's start calling this out. We need to start standing in front of courthouses and screaming about this, because this is outrageous.
And we need to call out Judaism for the barbaric, backward, ancient, out-of-date ideology that it is. Okay?
Yeah.
We need to call it out for that. And any politician that has ever made an excuse for any of these activities because it's religious practice or culture or whatever, they should be called out as well. They should all lose their fucking jobs. By the way, guys, please support our channel, because after all the anti-Jewish stuff that we said, after baby-sucking penis stuff that we said, after all the swear words that I just used, honestly, these videos on YouTube is not going to make any... YouTube is like, yeah, we're gonna push this downvote this video to oblivion, right? So please share our content, because we want to be able to talk about this stuff. Ali, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, just anyone watching this that's not an atheist, because I know it's just preaching to the choir. so to speak. But leave children out of it.
Yeah.
Just leave children out of it. You want to be a faith healer. You want to pray that God takes away your cold, or God, is your diabetes medicine. Awesome. Good on you. But children, get them to 18. Let them decide on their own what they want to do. Quit forcing this on children. Oh my God. That's all I want to say. We can go on to the next news or comments. Top comments.
No. The top comments were not that interesting. So next news.
Next news. Out of the USA, this Christian wants you to know exactly what gay men do in the bedroom. Andrew Bezod is an anti-LGBTQ conservative Christian who wrote a long and barely coherent rant against homosexuality that includes a graphic depiction of the colorectal regions of gay men. He wrote, and quote, "It is not a simple accident as to why adult diapers have exploded in popularity, and it's not because of the generally aging population alone, but because of the LGBT, since due to their abuse of their colorectal regions, what they turned from being an exit only into their tunnel, they turned what is supposed to be an exit only into their tunnel for hedonistic pleasure door." Right. That is now permanently opened for thin muscles, blah, blah, blah. So basically, this ultra-conservative Christian is blaming the LGBT community for causing an explosion in diaper sales.
He knows straight people have anal sex, right?
I guess he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this guy's ever had sex. Who knows? At all. So, yeah, I mean, like, it's very common. Definitely outside of the LGBT realm of sex. I don't know. I don't get it.
Is he okay with lesbians then? I don't know. Why is this guy being covered? Is he important? Does he have big followers? Or is he just being ridiculous?
It's just that he's ridiculous. That's why he ever gets coverage. Anyone who's anti-LGBT right now, especially if they're a conservative Christian, they tend to get a lot of coverage due to outrage. What I wish we would do is just stop. This is ridiculous. Why is this even news? Someone said something stupid on the internet. I mean,
it's funny. It's good to sometimes have a break from serious news. And
it is. But what I'm saying is, we can't give attention. And actually, somebody else ranted on this later in some news that we're going to write. We can't give attention to every single person who says something bad, because all they want is attention, and we're giving it to them. Some things need to be called out. But seriously, the guy saying that diaper sales are booming. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I think it's okay to give them attention because they're helping us embarrass their religion, right? So I mean, it's if they want the attention, there you go. You're helping our cause to show what religious bigotry looks like, right?
Yeah, that's true. In the name of their religion, when they say it, that is very true.
Right. Shane is saying, "I don't really care to know what anyone does in their bedroom. Thanks." I mean, why is that? Okay, I don't think that's an interesting defense of the LGBT. Okay, because what if I'm interested? What if I want to know? But I'm not anti-LGBT. Okay, so, right? What if I'm pro-LGBT, but I'm also curious? So like, hey, how does this work? Right? Right? So I don't understand. Like, people say, "Oh, I don't care what people do in their bedrooms." There's nothing wrong if you do care. Jeff is saying, and this has relevance because it's interesting, and because people have look, there has 202 comments, so we don't have to. If you're, it's so, people are like complaining about why this has relevance because, well, then why did you comment?
Well, here's why they comment. For virtue signaling. And that's what I'm sick of. And that's what I'm talking about. Is a lot of people who otherwise would do nothing for the LGBT community sit here on Facebook. They see this and they're like, I'm going to get on there and tell them how much I love gays. Well, then get out in your community and love gays. Like, do something. But it's the virtue signaling that sickens me.
My question is to people that see a news on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere else that they don't think it's relevant. Do they go out under each one of them and say, why is this relevant? I mean, there's a lot of news out there that I'm not interested. there's so much news out there that you could consume only a fraction of it, right? And I'm not interested. I'm interested to 1% of the news that is out there, because there's no way that we can consume all the news that is out there, right? But you know what I do to news that I don't find relevant?
You move on?
I move on. I don't consume them, right? So I don't understand.
I wish I had time. I wish I had the time to tell every single news article what I felt
Right.
about news.
I don't go to I don't go
ridiculous.
find the 99% news that is not relevant to me and tell them like, oh, why is this relevant? just don't consume the news that is not relevant to you. How is that like? Why did you have to, Jeff? Why did you, if this, you made it relevant to you? Why did you have to comment and now look, people are replying to you, and now you're connected to a news and you're getting notifications on a news item that you didn't find relevant. You wasted your own time. Casey's saying, I guess I'll take one for the team and show him. Okay, all right. Okay, Beach is calling me a weirdo in the YouTube live chat. She's joking.
We're all a little weird here.
Yeah, I mean, you would be boring if you weren't a little bit weird. Anyways, should I go? Do you want to add anything, Ellie?
No.
All right, hold on. All right, next news.
Next news is a Muslim teen forced to remove hijab at airport in front of passengers. This happened in San Francisco, USA. A 12-year-old Muslim girl has laid out a complaint after being forced to remove her hijab in front of other passengers while boarding the flight in San Francisco. Okay, and this was an Air Canada agent that told her, you need to take that off. And he pointed at her scarf, and she said, I can't. And he said, you have to. So the teenager, she's a member of a U.S. national squash team, said that the airport refused her request to remove the hijab in a private room with only female staff present.
But this was old news. Why this is coming back again? Is her case? I think the reason why the case is this is being reported again is because her case is moving forward or something like that, right? Or is this happening again?
This is happening again. This is new.
Are you sure?
So I know
Because
that
I remember that other
ago,
one.
Air Canada
It was
got reported on this, but this just happened to a girl in San Francisco, a 12-year-old Muslim girl.
Oh, the reason why I thought that this is the same because that one happened in Canada.
Right, and this is Air Canada again.
Again?
Yeah.
What the hell is happening with Air Canada? And you think Canada would be the last country that would do something like this, right?
Right.
I mean, what was the reasoning that she has to take it off? I mean, you have metal detectors and all that stuff. Like nobody asks us to take off clothing when we go through the security. We have an experience.
I have in Germany. I've been asked to remove my clothes, but that's a different story.
Okay, but were you taken in front of other people?
I had to fight for my right to be moved to a private room if they wanted me to continue taking off my clothes.
And did you win that fight?
Just barely.
Okay.
Okay,
well, that's ridiculous.
It's a long story. It's a different story. Let's stay on
Okay.
this. But people do need to remove things, especially in America, especially with the TAA. I guess saying agent again is crazy, but they're trained. You know, women who wear underwire in their bras, sometimes get a hard time. And things they have to touch you, they have to feel you. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable flying. It's terrible. Sometimes they make you do things and you don't know why.
Okay. Chris is saying something in the live chat that I don't think is true, and I will tell you what. Maybe I'm wrong. Chris is saying this headline is misleading. According to TSA protocol, all head coverings must be removed. This includes baseball caps, scarves, or other items. I've been to many airports in the United States. Women with hijab do not get asked to remove their hijab. So I don't know where you're getting this from, Chris.
I haven't seen that either. Even in my flights to Germany or Serbia, I went in with a lot of women wearing head coverings that did not have to remove them. But Beej is saying it bothers me that they did it to a 12-year-old girl as well. What bothers me is that a 12-year-old girl is being forced to wear the hijab. I mean, I understand that some people say it's a choice, but she's 12. and that bothers me because of what the hijab.
Yeah, they both bother me.
Yeah.
But okay, so obviously I'm against the hijab, and I'm against everything that it represents. But I also support people's right to wear the hijab, even though I'm
Right.
against the hijab. And I wonder, I wish we knew the reasoning for why Air Canada. I mean, could they not provide her with a private place to do this? Right? Would that, by the way, would that be religious privilege or something?
No, no, that's not religious privilege. Because, like I said, with my personal instance in Germany, there are private rooms, or at least places where you can pull a curtain with a TSA agent.
But would it be religious privilege to say that I want the same private area that you would give to somebody if they were becoming naked or semi-naked? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think that everyone has the, like you were saying, everyone has the right to wear what they want to wear. If something makes them feel uncomfortable, I think anyone who feels uncomfortable removing anything off of their persons should be given a private room. If they have to wait for it, wait for it.
Really? Like, what if I said I have a neck scarf?
You have a net scarf and you feel so uncomfortable that you have to only remove it in a room. Then you understand that you are also holding up those private rooms for women who have to remove their bras, or women who have to remove their shirts, and you're going to have to wait for it. You're going to have to wait for your private room to remove your neck scarf. I think that that's fine.
Really? You think, like, if I said I really cannot, like, if a security agent at the airport said, like, take off that neck scarf, and, like, I can't, I really feel naked about it if I take it off, give me a private room?
I think you're absurd, and I think that's absurd, but I think that if we have these private rooms available for people who need to remove items of clothing, then I think that everyone should be welcome to them.
Somebody's saying she could have smuggled something beneath the scarf. Not really. There's machines that will detect that. I mean, I could smuggle things if by that argument, I mean, you could put things in your underwear as well, but nobody asks you to take off your underwear in front of everybody else. I mean, this could have been easily avoided if they just, like, take it off in a private area with a woman available instead of a man checking everything. This could have all been avoided. I agree. I don't think that's too much of a request. I don't think that's religious privilege. And again, this is not the government. This was Air Canada, right?
This is Air Canada, yeah.
So this is not the government. This was not the TSA agent. This was the. Wait, what? Like, does the airline actually does security check? Isn't it the TSA agents that do the security check?
That's a really good question.
Like, why would the Air Canada, like the Air Canada, why would the airline ask you to do anything? Yeah, it's not even their. If it's Air Canada, it's not even in their place to ask you.
You know what? Yeah. So reading the specific wording, it says that the Air Canada agent asked her to remove it while boarding a flight.
Oh shit! That is way out of line. Yeah, that is way out of line. They're not even the security agent. They don't get to do that to anybody. Okay, forget it. This whole thing became a lot more clear. What the hell? Why would the Air Canada agent do that? They're not the TSA agent.
Why have
they
been doing this? This is their second complaint in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Get your shit together, Air Canada. What the hell? All right, this is weird. This should become a lot more weird than I thought. Yeah. Okay. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Let me see what the top comment is. Wow, this one got 800 comments.
Wow.
1,000 reactions, and the top comment got 327 reactions. This news got a lot of attention. The top comment is long, but I have to read it given that how much attention it got. Seth is saying, this one got 327 reactions. Seth is saying, while I disagree entirely with her religion, as well as all religion, I accept her right to observe and practice in religious traditions. Okay. Be careful. We have to always try to understand the right to religious freedom, or is it a religious privilege? Okay, so you have to always, every time you're analyzing a case, you have to understand which one of these two they are. If you're getting to do something that other people without a religion or without an excuse of a religion don't get to do, then it's not religious freedom, it's religious privilege. And nobody should be able to have religious privilege. But I agree that this is a freedom situation right here. However, at the airport, so Seth continues, However, at the airport, they have the right to search and inspect any of their belongings. I think this one is misspelled. If you read the article, she too respected that, but requested to remove her hijab in a private room with a female. This is perfectly reasonable request. The individual or individuals who refuse her request should be fired and charged with a hate crime. Okay, I don't know if it... Okay, so Seth, I was with you until that very last line because I don't know if it was a hate crime. If you have proof that it was because of a religion, then it would be a hate crime, but we don't... Maybe this was just negligence. I'm not saying it was an hate crime, but you can't just assume that. But I accept that it's a... So this is not a... If it's Air Canada, this is not about rights and stuff, because it's not the government taking away your rights or anything like that. This is just very bad business practice, and the consequences to a private company is fair. I think it was just a very poor decision, and I do agree that whoever did this probably should be fired, but charged with hate crime, I don't know, because I don't know what their motivations were. Were they maybe so out of touch with reality that they didn't know how bad this is going to look? Especially given that it already happened to their company.
Right?
Right? Like, you would think that they would know by now, like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do this. Like, if anybody would know not to do this, would be Air
It would
Canada.
be them.
It would
because
be them.
it already happened.
Oh, my God. So, okay, we have some Hindu people in the comments. Ashley saying... they make me take my belt off. I'm very large, bulky chap. That belt is a lifeline to hold my straining pants up. But you know what? Rules are rules, and I'd rather fly for 4 hours than drive for 2 days. Simple. She can enjoy her road trip next time. That's nonsense, Ashley. I think if you say, look, listen, if I take my belt off, my entire pants will fall down for sure, and I need a private room to do this, I think that would also be a reasonable request for you to make, right? I mean, it's not... And also, again, this is not at the TSA line, okay? They don't make you take off your belt before boarding by the airline. They don't do that.
That is the absolute point that needs to be made here.
Right.
She had already been cleared.
Right.
She had already been cleared by security. So unless they're saying that, like, they saw her stick something mysterious in there and somebody complained or whatever absurd reason they can come up with, there is no reason for them to ask anybody to take off anything.
I mean, if I was there and I saw an airline employee come and say, you need to take that off, if I was sitting there, I would like, oh shit, this is going to go viral. Like, I could just see right there. Like, I don't understand what was going through the employee's mind. Like, I could just be like, yeah, this is going to be on the news, isn't it? So, like, somebody's going to record this. This is going to be a... like, I could tell that this is going to happen. Like, I can't imagine why couldn't the employee know that, yeah, I'm going to probably lose my job over this. Oh, we have... Okay, cool. Let me... Ali, did you want to add anything?
Nope.
By the way, guys, again, people... We need to find more news that just talk shit about Islam, because people are going to think like we're Islam apologists. Because...
Right.
Right. So tell Anne to give us some news that we could shit on Islam a little bit more often, because...
I think that people don't understand how much we do.
Yeah. Okay, just to clarify, guys.
And we defend people,
yeah, we defend
not
people.
their religion. People confuse the two.
Yes. Okay, just to make it clear, again, I'm going to say this knowing full well that this is going to ruin the algorithm against this video, and we're going to get less visibility because of it. But just to make it clear with our audience, fuck Islam, okay? Fuck Islam, fuck Allah, fuck the Quran. Islam needs to die as an ideology. If it wasn't clear to you that we're against Islam just because we defend Muslims and we try to be sympathetic towards them, we don't care about their feelings if their feelings is getting in the way of us fighting their ideology, okay? We do care about people's feelings if their feelings is not being used as a method to silence other people. Okay. And we try, and sometimes we have a hard time realizing, is this religious freedom or is it religious privilege? And we try to think about it, and we don't always get it right. But we do want to protect people, okay? But that doesn't mean that we don't hate their religion, because their religion sucks. And it's barbaric, it's ancient, it's violent, and it's responsible for a lot of misery all around the world, and it needs to die, okay? We believe that. But we'll do that without being hostile towards people. Just to clarify for anybody that is new here. All right, Ali, do you add anything? Or
Yeah, if speaking of you and I defending Muslims, on to our next news.
Oh no. Okay. Wait,
out
hold
of
on.
China-
Wait. Let me bring it up. Okay. Next news.
Next news is out of China. A crackdown on Islam is spreading across China. This to me is misleading because it's not Islam. It's actually a lot of Muslims that are being hurt.
Yes, thank you. You stole my line. I was gonna be like, this headline is completely wrong. It's not a crackdown on Islam. We do a crackdown on Islam. China does a crackdown on Muslims.
Yes.
But go on.
Yes. So a lot of people don't know that in China's northwest, it's actually it's predominantly a Muslim area. So like in the small village of Linxia is the city known as Little Mecca. The government is going up there and just stripping all expressions of Islamic faith. They are burning down resident homes, domes and mosques. They are fighting with these people, with these Muslims, trying to smash everything that it is they believe in, trying to take them into their camps, to have them brainwashed, or as they say, like anti-brainwashed from Islam and into China's way of living. So they have actually gone as far as to they've banned the public use of Arabic script in China, and it's a harsh crackdown on Muslims that is going even further than the concentration camps they already have set up.
You know what I think is, if people look back at today, 50 years from now, right? What are they going to mostly talk about? And a lot of people, based on what the news is covering these days, they might talk about, I don't know, Trump, Ukraine. But I think it's going to be this. It's going to be the fact that human rights violations became something that people were not as sensitive about as they used to be. After World War II, when we said never again and all that stuff, and we had a lot of, we went through a lot of major human rights wins. We had like Martin Luther King, we had, Gandhi, we had Mandela, and I understand some of them were flawed, but overall there was a push against authoritarian ideologies and for human rights, and people were like, human rights, yay. And then human rights narratives were misused and people lost hope, and now we have concentration camps coming back up, right? We have concentration camps that people around the world don't seem to give a shit about, including many Muslims. Again, hashtag not all. Muslims mostly care about if Israel or white people are attacking Muslims. They're not, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are buddies with China, and they have given them a green light. Yeah, do this to Muslims. We don't care. They even have praised China's authoritarian methods against their fellow Muslims, because why not? I think it's going to be the Kashmir situation that 50 years from now people are going to look back on and look at it and be like, yep, these people at our time gave up on human rights because nobody seemed to, we're not as sensitive to it as we used to be. It was just a short time. The shock of World War II, I think, made people care about it for a while, and now it's not. We have concentration camps back. Come on. 1 million Muslims in China. We didn't think we were going to be back here. We're here, and people are not talking about it. The Yemen situation, which is the greatest humanitarian crisis of our time, most people don't care about that. I mean, this is the stuff I think that people are going to look back in shame and be like, yeah, people, they said never forget, and they forgot.
We better look back at this in shame.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is disgusting. I don't. Again, it surprises people that we are we're atheists and China is an atheist regime, and fuck them. We'll take the side of Muslims on this one. Fuck China. Fuck the way that they're treating Muslims, and fuck anybody that pretends to be for human rights but has other agendas. See, this is how you stand. We're not tribal, right? When it comes to violation of human rights, we'll take the side of Muslims against the atheists. But if you look at, leftists, right-wingers, Muslims, when they cry about human rights, it's always their people, or the people that they have identified as victims. If it falls out of their narrative, they don't care about people, right? We're all, if a fraction of this crime was done by Israel, the number of Muslims in the world that would be talking about it would be astronomically higher. If it was the United States, or if it was any other white country, they would be shouting it off the rooftops, right? Because they're tribal. They have identified the enemy, and they don't recognize China as a traditional enemy. I hope they will. I know some of them do. But because it's not about saving people. It's not about the victims. It's about the tribe you belong to and the narratives that you have to stick by to belong to that tribe. Hey.
Yeah.
Let me see what the top comment is. Thomas is saying the amount of gleeful responses here is genuinely unsettling. Yeah, I predicted that because people, again, just because, we try to make Atheist Republic less tribal, but many of our followers on Atheist Republic are not like that. Many of our followers on Atheist Republic, people that feel like belong to Atheist Republic, will celebrate China. And we don't ban them, and we want them to come here and say these things so we could highlight them. Because guess what? You don't fix these problems by, not talking about it, by not shining a light on it. Again, this is another thing that many other organizations or even religious groups do, right? Not that many atheist organizations will or groups will say, like, look, this is a problem that we have in our community. Not just the atheist community, our own Atheist Republic community. We have a problem. A lot of people within our own Atheist Republic community support China on this. And we're going to shine a light on it. I'm going to highlight it as a problem that we need to address. A lot of people in the Muslim community, they don't address the fact that their religion is responsible for a lot of hate. So we shouldn't follow that. We should point out, and we shouldn't shy away from the fact that China is an atheist state. Don't let people try to dance around that and be like, well, no, technically this is authoritarian and they're worshiping, something else. They don't believe in God, so they're atheists. It's an atheist state. It's an atheist regime. Own it, right? Don't. Yeah, I understand that their atheism is not responsible for what they're doing, but if anybody wants to point out that they are atheists, that is fair. That is a fair point. They are atheists. If somebody says that atheism led to this, that is not fair. But don't shy away from the fact that they are actually atheists.
Yeah.
Soraya is saying 50th. Wait, what is that? Do you want to read Soraya's comment? I don't know what
where they say about the 50th day of Kashmir lockdown?
Oh, yeah. Our government has gone mad. Oh, yeah, in India. Yes. Other human rights violations. We'll cover that. We need to, by the way, I'm actually surprised that we haven't been posting about that more. Tell Anna that the Kashmir situation needs to be covered more, especially given that how sensitive people are about us talking about this, and a lot of people want us not to talk about this. A lot of our so-called Hindu atheist followers don't want us to talk about it, and they will accuse us of posting fake news and all that. That's why we should talk about it more. So
actually, this would be great. This would be a great topic for me to cover. For those of you who don't know, yes. I write for Patheos. So if anyone living in that area wants to contact me on Twitter and give me some statements, I would really appreciate it.
Okay, here's another comment. Sean is saying, I actually had a discussion about this on another page. I may not agree with the concentration camp methods, but goddamn if it hasn't been effective. Really, Sean, you think it has been effective? You think this
Really?
Wow. Okay, how is this has been effective in China? You replace Islam with another authoritarian mindset. Like, if I kill a monster and bring a monster as horrific to replace it, have I done anything? Like, what do you guys like? Just because you're defeating Islam, that doesn't mean this is a good thing. You're replacing it with something even worse. There you go. I don't know. I want to talk to these people. See why would they say stuff like this?
Right.
Look, Thomas in our top comment. Good. This bullshit needs to be stopped everywhere. Good luck stopping it with this method. China, if anybody in the Chinese government ever watches our shows, which I'm sure they don't, hire Atheist Republic. We'll show you how to defeat Islam. Somebody, please,
Yeah.
somebody come. I don't know if I go to China, would they arrest me and send me to Iran? Because I would like to go there and do presentations on how to actually defeat Islam. We have done a very good job at Atheist Republic with very, very limited resources to get hundreds of thousands of people out of Islam, okay?
Yep.
So with very, very limited resources. So imagine if we had the resources, right? So China, if you want to defeat Islam, hire us. We'll show you how to do it more effectively and humanely. Yeah, but I would love to go to China and do like some seminars there and try to get some people change some minds about how to do this. But I'm scared because China is buddies with Iran now, and if they arrest me and if they want, I'm okay to get deported, but deport me to Canada. But they might decide that if they want to deport me to Iran, because I'm dual citizen, right? So that's they would be like, yeah, why they get to choose where they want to deport me to. So that if I go back to Iran, they'll hang me. Anyways, so Ali, do you want to add anything, or should I go? Should I close this one?
No, we can go on.
All right. Next news.
Next news is out of the USA. The Trump administration wants to slash funding at the University of North Carolina and Duke University for its Islamic Studies program. So this one kind of has me a little conflicted. If someone has more information, I'll ask for that at the end. But the Trump administration is considering ending funding for the Consortium of the Middle East Studies, a program run by Duke University and the University of North Carolina. Now, the consortium received $235,000 from a grant in 2018, but recently the U.S. Education Department said that they're going to cut the funding because their program, end quote, unfairly promotes the positive aspects of Islam, but not Judaism or Christianity. The letter also states that seminars on modern love in Iran, for instance, are not beneficial to national security and economic stability. So the grant, any grant that you get in the USA, you have to meet its criteria for the reason why they're giving you the grant. So if the reason why they're giving them the grant is to promote national security or economic stability, then that is something that they need to be spending that grant money on doing. So if they're talking about the Middle East, like right now they're talking about love in Iran. That's one of their conferences that they have focused on, love and desire in modern Iran. And so the U.S. Department of Education is saying, that's not what we gave you this money for. And here's the deal, is I don't think that any money coming from the U.S. government needs to be going towards promoting a specific religion. So that's why I feel torn about this, is that...
so were they biased for Islam?
See that's what I'm trying to figure out here, and that's what I'd like for anyone who knows more about this to help us kind of clarify here. The Department of Education is not being biased. Well, what they're saying is actually that if they're going to promote ideological priorities in favor of one religion but not other religions, then that's actually against the Constitution, right? They're using government funding to promote a religion.
Right. Actually, okay, so I was with them until that. Okay, so we don't know if it was an objective course about Islam or anything Middle Eastern related. That should be completely fine. If it's like academic, objective, like if it wasn't Islamic propaganda, right, then that should be allowed, right? I think, especially if the
Well,
grant
here's why it wouldn't be, because the grant is for national security and economic stability.
Oh, well, can't you argue that understanding the situation in the Middle East helps with national security?
You can, but what they're saying is how is love and desire in modern Iran focusing on national security or economic stability?
Well, I could make you the case that love, if you understand relationships in Iran and how the government is, again, I have to see the courses, right? But
Absolutely. And that's the thing is any argument you make, is your argument worth $235,000 of grant money?
Okay, so let's make the case, okay? If this was actually bias, all right, and it was promoting religion, even if it was promoting all religions equally, it should not be, if the government was involved, it should not be allowed. So I hate, makes me feel dirty to say, but I would support the Trump administration in this decision if that's what they were doing. If they were actually if they were biased for Islam, if they were being biased in any way, even if it was every single religion, right? The fact that it was one religion, it makes it even worse. But even a slightest suggestion of that will mean the funding should be cut. So again, we're just trying to be consistent. I know this is the Trump administration, and we usually don't like most of the stuff that they do. But in this, and we can't know because we don't know what the course was. But if they're right, if the course was biased, and if it was not being objective, then you agree with this, Ellie, right? The government should pull the grant. Right?
Should pull the grant.
Right.
Yes, I do.
But if it was objective, and if it was somehow this in line with what the grant was about, even if it was focused on one religion and one religion alone, that should have been fine, right? So you could have a course that is government funded and it's only about Islam, but if it's objective, then that's fine, I think. If it's not Islamic propaganda. So the verdict on this is we don't know, because we don't know how biased the course was.
And we also don't have, I don't have the grant listed in front of me, so I don't know all of the requirements for the grant. But this article is saying that, look, this is not, you're not using the money we gave you for the purpose that we wanted it used for.
Right.
And you're promoting one religion instead of teaching about all religions. And that's basically how it works. The government can't promote one religion over another.
Right.
The government can definitely, that's why we talk about the 10 Commandments being outside of a courthouse. You can't do that if you're not going to allow for a Baphomet to be placed there, right? So if you want to do all, that's great, but don't do one. And that's all they're saying here.
Well, no, you could do one as well. You could do one as well if you're objective.
If you're objective, but they're not. They're definitely promoting the positive aspects of Islam.
So here's something else that we need to add. It's possible that the Trump administration was in their right to do this, but they had their actual agenda was to be to show that
their motive behind it was actually.
So maybe they accidentally make the right decision, but their goal was to just show to their base that we're moving Islam out of our university and stuff like that. So maybe even though they made the right decision here, if this was a Christian bias for Christianity and it was Christian propaganda, they wouldn't have done something like this, right? So just to be clear, we don't know though. Hypotheticals,
we don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next news.
Next news is out of Indonesia. Indonesia's plan to ban sex out of marriage could affect millions, including Bali tourists. This is a bit of crazy news. So the president of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, sorry if I mispronounced that, but he has actually drafted up a bill that's going to be voted on next week that will ban sex outside of marriage, that will ban same-sex marriage, same-sex anything, It will be, you will be arrested if you make fun of the president. And this is his bill that he is trying to get passed. And so everyone is kind of freaking out
And
there
they're
right
also
now because they
removing a lot
say,
of. They're also removing a whole bunch of stuff that Human Rights Watch institutions that were supposed to keep the government in check. They're also removing a lot of that.
right, absolutely. It's also, people can't sell contraceptives there. That's being taken away. The woman's right to choose an abortion is being taken away.
What the hell is happening to Indonesia? Seriously, like
Well, this gets more twisted here. So there's Bali, right? And they're like, well, what about Bali? Because 6 million tourists visited Bali last year. Okay, more than 1 million of them were Australians. So the politicians there are saying, how is this going to affect our overall tourism? This is going to be terrible. Someone was quoted as saying that the European diplomatic missions of Jakarta have argued to legislators that its provisions, particularly against extramarital sex, will require that they update their travel notices, right? Yeah. And lead to a flood of bad press. Yeah, it's going to lead to a flood of bad press. So then what they said when they asked some people who are for this bill, they said, well, what about the tourists? Are your tourists going to face jail for extramarital sex? The politician said it's no problem as long as people don't know. Well, no shit, dumbass. It's not a problem if people don't know. It's the same thing for the people who live there right now, right? If people don't know about it, how are you going to make a law enforcing it if they don't know about it? So it's just the fact that they feel this was necessary to do. This is a witch hunt. We hear in America witch hunt every day from Twitter, from our president. But this is a bill that is going to target people. It's going to allow them to just imprison people that they don't like. All you have to say is they had sex. All you have to say is that someone's gay. All you have to say is that, somebody had an abortion or was taking birth control pills, and they go to jail for it.
So, by the way, I don't understand why they're doing this. Tourism in Indonesia is such a huge deal, and Bali itself,
it's huge.
It's a hub of entrepreneurship and big business. And also, this is not just going to hit them with tourism, because there's a lot of major giant corporations in Bali and the rest of Indonesia, and they have to think about their employees now, right? Imagine Intel, we have workers here that are in a relationship and they're not married. Like, are we putting them in danger if we're bringing them to offices here? Like, they have to, a lot of these corporations are going to have to think twice before moving people. Economically, it's going to be a disaster. But why? I'm trying to understand. These people are not. A lot of people see this and feel like, oh, these politicians are so dumb. They're not dumb. There's always a reason. I just don't know what the reason is. Like, I wish we had somebody from Indonesia explain this to us. But there must be some, in elections or something, this might be helping. Like, why is the president doing? Are they hitting? Is there a corruption thing that they're trying to distract from? Are there some voting blocks that they're trying to appeal to? Yeah, go on.
This has been an ongoing problem, Armin. Back in 2006, they tried passing a provision just like this that was struck down. So this has been ongoing since 2006.
But why? What's the point? What are they trying to achieve? Again, they're not that dumb. This must serve their purpose in some way. But why are they trying to?
You're right. You're right. But whatever it is, they've been fighting for over a decade to get these rules passed. And
this is the religious groups. Okay, this is the religious groups in Indonesia being a lot more organized than the rest of the population. But let's give credit where credit is due, because people have been on the streets in Indonesia protesting this. Right? Do you see that, Ellie? The people have been protesting all of this. So kudos to the people that are actually coming to the streets. And please, if you're in Indonesia, actually, no, we shouldn't ask people that because this could put them at risk. But these people are heroes. Some people are not just taking this. There were huge protests. And again, this is something that is not getting much coverage. I haven't seen much coverage on this, but I know there's protests. Again, you know what? The Hong Kong gets more coverage than Indonesia because this is Islam, and people don't want to be like, ooh, Islam bad. But again,
right.
yeah, go on.
just to let everyone know, like, how serious this is, and how well organized, like Armin was saying, this is, the religious minority or majority being more organized than anybody else. Let's talk about how organized they are. They already have the penalties laid out, right? So if you get an abortion there, it'd be a 4-year prison term. For couples who are unmarried but live together as husband and wife, they can be jailed for 6 months and pay a fine that is equivalent to 3 months' salary.
Right. But
okay, so this is attacking everybody, not just women, not just minorities, but everybody in Indonesia.
So, and again, remember, Indonesia and Malaysia are supposed to be some of the most moderate and, Islamic countries out there, right? And for a while, because of capitalism, they were going in a different direction in Islam. But this is the problem with Islam, okay? You can't just be like, oh, this is a problem with arguing for reforming Islam, because you're sitting on a landmine that is just not going off right now. If you have Islam, even if it's going through a friendly, moderate phase, it's just sitting there for the next leader that wants to take advantage of it, right? It's like a weapon that you're hiding under your bed just because it's like somebody's not using it to shoot people right now. That doesn't mean that you can't grab it every time you need it. This is why reforming Islam is actually extremely dangerous, because it makes people not fight it, and it's just let's just sit there for the next leaders that want to use it. And another thing is I want to point out is that when it comes to most Muslims in Indonesia, they don't actively push for these things, but the ones that do push for these things, they are the most organized ones, and they are very connected. They're very strategic about getting these things done. And religious people on average are very good at this. Think about Christians in the United States. When they were voting for Trump, people laughed at them like, "Oh, look at Trump. He's not a Christian." And these idiots are voting for him. Look who's laughing now. They're getting every judge that they want, which is going to last for many years after Trump is gone. But religious people are good at politics, even though they're really crap at philosophy. But the thing is, with the other Muslims that are not pushing for this, they also don't want to be seen as they're against it, because, again, this is a problem with Islam, right? Even if you're not a fundamentalist, dedicated follower of Islam, just by becoming a Muslim, you think, I shouldn't be. This seems wrong, but I don't want to be anti my religion, so I'm not going to say anything, or I'm just going to support it without actively pushing for it, because yay, Islam is good, So this is a problem with Muslim moderates, right? Because, again, you could take advantage of the fact that they have some allegiance to Islam. I know a lot of Muslims will be against this as well, but most of them are going to be like, I guess I have to support this because it's Islam, and Islam is all Sharia law is A-okay. So, again, another reason why Islam, even in moderate form of it is extremely dangerous and should be fought against. But we need to make a show about Indonesia. Like, we need some. Why is it so hard to find some atheists from not Malaysia, Indonesia, from Indonesia to come and educate us about what's happening there? Like, we need to
From what I've seen, it's because they're scared.
Oh yeah, okay.
We've had a lot of people from Indonesia say that they're scared. So.
Soraya is saying this bill in Indonesia may be some diversion to hide internal political agenda. Yeah, that's what I said. Everyone knows this bill will not stand to pass. Really? Would it not pass? That's great if that's true. I don't know. Banksy is saying, Armin, that's what I was telling you about Islam being a cancer that needs a firm hand from time to time. Well, you don't need. Really, Banksy, you're telling me Islam is cancer? Really, you think that's news to me? Do you know what we have been doing in the past 15 years? It does need a firm hand, but you don't fight Islam. But I don't know what are you referring to the past news that we were covering? Because if that's what you're referring to, if you want to defeat Islam, you don't do it by victimizing Muslims. That's how you promote Islam. Islam becomes stronger when you victimize Muslims. Islam becomes weaker when you try to reach out to Muslims and you befriend Muslims. Fight Islam by befriending Muslims. Promote Islam by victimizing Muslims. I mean, we have so much data and examples to show that how it works. And people think like, oh, we're defeating Islam by being dicks to Muslims. It's not how it works. Sorry. Let me see what the top comment is. Dicky is saying this is the result of having religious beliefs as a standard of the laws. My country is really messed up. Oh, so we got the top comment was from Indonesia. Thank you for that, Dicky. Should we go? Did you want to add anything, Ali?
Nope.
All right, hold on. All right, next news.
Next news is out of the USA. Conservative radio host is getting so tired of LGBTQ people wanting acceptance.
Oh no, poor you.
Yes, she's exhausted, guys.
Oh no.
We need to quit getting beaten and losing our jobs. We just need to quit getting thrown out of Ubers. All for Kate Daly. She's a radio host and devout Mormon. Who says she's very tired of the LGBTQ people getting so much attention for their alleged victimhood.
Alleged victim.
Alleged.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to read the entire rant to you guys because it's absolutely ridiculous. But I am going to pull out some points that she's trying to make here. She says that everybody in the LGBT community pretends to be a perpetual victim. And that it's got to stop. She wants to see news reports where the LGBT community is actually being victimized, as if she's never heard of the Pulse nightclub shooting, or she's never, looked on the internet to see other stories of people who are legitimately victimized in the LGBTQ community. She wants to see these reports. So if anyone ever wants to contact Kate Daly, please give her some news, because apparently she doesn't see it. She says
don't go by examples. We actually have data to show homophobia is on the rise. We have data. Yeah.
Yes, we do. And apparently she's just not seeing it. So she needs to see it. She's saying that no data anywhere backs up LGBTQ community being discriminated.
We have very recent data that we covered the data actually. Remember when we said homophobia is increasing among young people as well. But go on, sorry.
Yes. So she needs to see that as well. She says that we need to quit being mad at people who don't want to make us cakes or take photos at our weddings, and we just need to move on.
Maybe why can't you say the same thing to you? Maybe you should oh, poor you, you're so tired.
Right.
Maybe you should move on. Why should we care about your ranting? But go on, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
She says she's not anti-gay. She's just not pro-LGBTQ, and that there's a huge difference. She says she has gay friends and always has throughout her life. So that's it, guys. Let's even stop. She's definitely in the right here because she has a gay friend.
Oh wow, that's I'm not racist. I have a black friend. Like the argument.
Yes, okay. She just pulled that. Right. She just went there.
She's so out of touch. If she but okay. So if I would accept her position if it was true that every gay person thinks that they're the victim because they're gay. Okay. There are a lot of gay people that are like, you know what, I'm not the victim anymore. I used to be, but I'm not. But I'm still doing activism for the sake of other people that are still the victim, right? I mean, many gay people are still the victim, but many of the ones that are not the victims do activism for the sake of the ones that are. I agree that the victimhood narrative gets overplayed by every group that has victims in it. Even in the ex-Muslim movement that I'm in, right? Nobody can deny that ex-Muslims have it the worst compared to many other groups of people, right? Yeah. But there are ex-Muslims out there that are not a victim of anything, right? And they are trying to play that card. It's true. But that will happen with every movement. Every time a group of people are being oppressed, some people that belong to that group that are not being oppressed will try to use that narrative to maybe get some attention or something else. But you cannot. But what she said is every. Didn't she say? You read that, right? She said every gay person.
Right.
Tries to. That's not true. No, it's not true. There are many gay people out there that are not victims, but are doing activism for the ones that are. And I could tell you right now, as an ex-Muslim myself, for example, I'm not a victim of anything. Okay, I mean, nobody is taking my rights away, and nobody's oppressing me, and I'm doing fine. But there are many ex-Muslims all around the world that are living in fear because they're ex-Muslims, right? So if I do ex-Muslim activism, it's not for my sake. I'm not a victim of anything, okay? And I'm pretty sure many gay people also are not being oppressed, but many of them are. And just because some of them aren't, you cannot deny the ones that they are. Anyways, Ali, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I actually do want to add something, because there's another layer here that I'm not sure if I made outrageously clear or not, but Kate Daly here is a Mormon. Okay, and it's what makes her even more despicable to me, and how dare her for even opening up her mouth, is because of what her religion that she practices so much has done to so many members of the LGBT community. So many in their religion. Okay, for decades. I think it wasn't until maybe this year or last year that they're trying to turn this around. But if you came out as gay, you are excommunicated from your church.
Right.
All right. They were one of the prime. This religion is one of the prime proponents of gay camps, right? Gay conversion therapy camps. And so, how dare her, after everything her church, her wonderful, beautiful church, has done to this community, for her to sit here and say she's tired? Fuck her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. And actually, you're so right, because how could she be so blind to it? Like, you're right. She's Mormon, and even now, the amount of shaming and shunning and and the level of trauma that people from the Mormon community, the gay people from the Mormon community, have to go to. If you have missed all of that, you're either lying or you are so blind, like to have missed all of that. So that's a very good point, Ali. By the way, you swore as well, so now I'm not, because people complain about us swearing. So see, it's not just me, it's Ali as well. But it's fine. By the way, I don't like this. So Sue is saying, I am so tired of people not minding their own business. I don't like that as a comeback to people that say shitty things. Because why should we mind our own business? The problem with her is that her comments are wrong. But I don't, not that she's not minding her own business. I think people should mind other people's businesses, because we're all connected with each other, right? So I don't like that as a response, as a comeback to anybody. I'm getting the second top comment is saying, I'm getting so tired of people who enjoy denying others equal right. Yeah, that's a better top comment response. By the way, guys, I have nothing against swearing. I think swearing is a very healthy way to get your emotions out there. The only reason why I'm trying to self-censor is not because because a lot of people were complaining about us swearing. I'm not giving into that pressure. The only reason I'm giving into our YouTube master pressure, because they don't like it, and they keep. But again, we're failing at it because we're trying not to swear, and we can't stop. We can't help ourselves. Anyways, should we go to the last news?
Well, yeah, sure. Last news is out of the USA. Fox News panel says liberals are worshiping the environment instead of God.
That's great. So, wait, is he complimenting?
Actually.
Is that a compliment? Because that sounds amazing.
The thing about Fox News is that they're mocking this, of course.
Okay.
And that they're very upset that environmentalists have forgotten about God, and that they're worshiping the environment instead. So what they're doing is they're picking on the 16-year-old activist, Greta Thunberg. So Buck Sexton decides to tie environmentalism with climate change, specifically to religion. So he's saying that anyone who believes in climate change has taken it up as a religion. And so they're sitting around laughing about it, mocking it. The truth of the matter is that everyone should pick up taking care of the environment as a sort of religion, because yeah, we're going down, and I don't. They're up here in Fox News. They're praying all of our problems away, and our problems are getting worse. So let's actually do something about it.
I mean, it's not religious because there's evidence for climate change and there's no evidence for your God. That's done, right? I mean, is the United States the only country in the world where we have so many people denying climate change? Because you don't see this almost anywhere else. I think even now we're starting to see it because the United States is exporting this idea to right wingers in other places. But I think was mostly a U.S. thing. Like other places, I think it wasn't being used as a political tool to go against to denying climate change, and I think because politics wasn't involved, it was people pretty much understood that this is the science. But when politics gets involved with science, then all of a sudden people get confused about what the science is actually telling them. But I mean, was this on the news segment on Fox News, or was this an opinion section of Fox?
Isn't all Fox News opinion? It was on a panel discussing climate change on Fox News. So
worshipping the environment instead of God. I mean, that sounds pretty good. I think. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Yeah, great.
That'd be so much better.
Yeah. By worship, by the way, we mean like we don't mean actual worship. If by worship you mean like care and to protect. I mean,
yeah, worship the same way maybe you worship your favorite rock band.
Right. Top comment saying the environment is a tangible and is a tangible and absolute existence. God is not. Sorry. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Thaddeus is saying yes. Well, the environment actually exists and is also integral to our existence. But you know, I don't. Did they say the liberals are worshiping the environment or environment? You know, the climate change science or something like that. Because even for a Christian, that sounds pretty dumb. Because most Christians don't say like we don't care about the environment. Maybe
they didn't actually even make this about liberals. They just said that environmentalists have forgotten about God and are worshiping the environment instead.
Yeah, but I think other Christians would say like, listen, don't put this guy in our camp because, I mean, other Christians that deny climate change, let's even be fair to them, because they actually pretend to care about the environment, but they say like we don't think that humans are responsible for climate change, which are wrong, but at least they pretend that the environment matters. This guy seems to not even like, oh, you care about so much about the environment. Like, yeah, I mean, what? And also another thing to point out is that this guy is making it seem like liberals. I keep seeing this on Fox News and other right-wing outlets. They keep saying, oh, liberals don't worship God and liberals are atheists. I mean, I wish, but most liberals in the United States are not atheists, right?
Right, they really have been. We discussed that actually on Wednesday, you and I, where they claimed that liberals were following an atheistic theology.
Yeah, but they're not. But I mean, that was ridiculous on so many different other levels, which we won't get into. But there are a lot of liberals that are religious in the United States. So, I mean, I wish you were right. I wish we had more atheists in the liberal camp, but we don't. So there's just one phrase. And there's so many, there's 10, how many words are in there? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 10 things wrong with it. Like, anyways, okay. So, Banksy is saying you should also look up the RTP's Holy Crusade of Climate Change sets out to save our polluted souls. Okay, well, yeah, thank you. If I have time, I'll check that out. Soraya is saying, I want to say they should help Greta. How do you pronounce her last name? Thunberg?
Thunberg?
Is that the 14-year-old girl that... Yeah, I think that's about her. By not hurting climate and change habits instead of worshipping. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. I haven't researched that much yet. Yeah, I saw her video, though. Thaddeus is saying, yes, well, yeah, I already read that. Anyways, that was our last news. Did you want to add anything, Ellie?
No, oh yeah, actually, about what I said before. Just because this is the end, if you guys can, at any time, you can DM me on Twitter or send me a message at Atheist Alley. If you have any news, especially about Kashmir, because I'm doing a lot of writing for Pathos now. So anything going on in your community, any story you want to share, send it my way.
Yes, and it will get coverage here on Atheist Republic as well if you send it to Ali. And also, please share our videos. We cut these into smaller pieces. We cover 10 news and we cover it in like an hour and a half or 2 hours. But then we cut them into 10 small pieces and then we post it on our YouTube channel. So if you want to help us out, and it would be very grateful if you could, share our videos. Oh, Chris just gave us a $2 super chat. Thank you, Chris. That's very kind.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris is saying you're awesome. Hope to see Ali next time. Yeah, Ali. I hope next time you come on camera, people want to see you. Mars is saying thanks, Ali and Armin. Oh, guys, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you, people on Facebook as well. Tim, Ruben, Tom. Who else? Christy, Doorknob Head, Robert, Beej, Mike, everyone else. Sorry if I missed your name. We love you guys and thank you for your comments, even if you disagreed with us. And yeah, all right. See you guys next week. Bye.